After seeing this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter, the only thing I want to see is an epic battle between Meruem the Chimera Ant King and Perfect Cell from Dragon Ball Z. It would be absolutely perfect. Two ultimate beings going up against each other with their green scaliness, their creepy-ass tails, and their ability to instantly teleport and kick your ass right into the stratosphere. This week's episode of Hunter x Hunter was great. It was just another episode showing us how powerful the Chimera Ant King has become ever since the massive explosion of the poor man's rose. This week's episode did a great job of making you shit your pants in fear at how powerful Meruem has become. My favorite scene this week was definitely the scene when he powered himself up and instantly realized where everyone was in the castle, and he just teleported outside instantly and took out both Knuckle and Melioron as they were trying to escape, because the instant he actually powered up, everybody started freaking out, and for good reason. There's never been a power like this in Hunter x Hunter before. That sounds like something everybody always says in Dragon Ball Z. I've never felt a power like this before. But that's exactly what's going on here, guys. And it's actually really awesome. I really like how effective it is. And it might be kind of a bummer for some of you guys who watched last week's episode, because it was the Gon versus Pito fight, and it didn't disappoint, and it was awesome. But they really don't follow up on it too much in this episode. In fact, there's just one small scene where Palm is looking in on her weird little crystal ball forehead, and she notices that Killua is walking with Gon on his back, and he has the long hair still, but it looks like he shrunk down a little bit. It's strange. They're just walking away. That's about it. But the other parts about this episode that are interesting is the fact that Meruem actually knows that Poof and Youpi are hiding things from him, and that's where it gets really creepy, because he could have just killed them instantly, and it does make sense because when he absorbed parts of their bodies, in a way he's sort of like sharing their consciousness as well, and he can sort of like sense what they're feeling, and that's when they decide to have this little contest where they're both going to have to try and take out some targets, and of course, Yuppie's going to try and go and find Pito, but that's not going to work because her head has been smashed into the frickin' ground, which is still pretty brutal. I like that they actually did go back, and we saw what's going on with Pito. Needless to say, she's not getting up. There's also a scene where Palm and Ikago meet up, and they try to escape in that underground area underneath the castle, and they're trying to hide Komugi, and they're trying to get away from the Chimera Ant King's aura, and why wouldn't they? Because it's pretty much instant death for them. And something that I do think is surprising is that the king actually did not kill Knuckle and Melioron. He just simply knocked them out. And I just would have expected how brutal he is at this point that maybe he would have done that. This is definitely going to be an oversight, because this is basically just letting us know that Knuckle and Melioron are gonna be just fine. That's pretty much the end of the episode, with the Chimera Ant King still having something lurking in the back of his mind that is just bothering him, and he can't figure it out. He knows that it involves Pito and this other little mysterious person. We all know who that is. It's Komugi. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter? I liked it. It was another build-up episode, but there was also some cool little action bits. I do like the fact that when he started to power up, there was this scene where Knuckle and Melioron were walking away, and there was just really nothing they could do. Even with their powers, even if they had to stay close to the king, they wouldn't last long at all. And this is sort of making Melioron and Knuckle drift apart a little bit, and I do find that interesting. But it all ends immediately when Meruem just jumps in and knocks their shit out. I was sort of hoping they would go back to the whole Gon and Killua thing, because that was a huge deal last week, and if there's one thing that's been downplayed in this arc, it's everything with Gon. However, this is an instance where I'm guessing maybe, you know, less is more. I'm always going to remember last week's episode for how classic it is, and maybe I just need to accept it for what it was. This week's episode, however, was awesome, because even though last week Gon was just destroying stuff, we get to see how powerful the Chimera Ant King really is, and they really display it in a lot of cool ways this week, other than the fact that he's just a teleporting badass. The fact that his entire aura just explodes out of the castle and everything just looks really, really good, and I like how it has like that blinding light to it. It's really awesome. The animation and the artwork this week was really nice, especially all of the colors, especially the scenes where you see Poof changing from his normal look to the weird shadowed look where he has that shit-eating grin on his face. It's just little moments like that that make it good. The Chimera Ant King came across as very scary this week, and I think that's really awesome. He's always been a very intimidating villain because he's kind of unpredictable. One moment he's just talking to you, the next moment he's lopping your head off with his weird little tail thing. But otherwise, great episode here. More build-up to see what the Chimera Ant King is going to do. The thing is, though, I don't know who's going to be able to take this guy at this point. I mean, obviously, Gon is out of commission right now. You know, he needs to get a haircut. He's got long flowing hair like Finn from Adventure Time. And it's just, I don't know what he's going to do. You know, Killua, obviously, I don't think he's going to be the end-all, be-all for this arc. Maybe his family's going to come back in. Maybe some other people from the Hunters Association is going to jump back in. I really don't know. It's crazy. I can't wait to see it because a lot of the times when I'm watching these shonen series, they're usually really easy to predict. But I have no idea where this one is going, and I think that's a good thing. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. So, liked this episode. It was a little slow in some parts. I wished a little more could happen. But still, I think it was a great episode with a lot of things behind it. So, 9 out of 10 from me. Check out this week's episode. It's definitely worth your time. It's got a lot of cool moments, and I cannot wait to see the rest of this arc. And I cannot wait till we catch up to the manga version because I don't know what's going to happen in the anime. But if it does reach that point, I'm going to have to start reading the manga because I got to see what's going to happen after this. So there it is, guys. 9 out of 10. Check it out. If you guys saw this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter, I would love to hear your thoughts about it. You can tell me with your comments below. Did you guys have any favorite moments, favorite action scenes? Do you have any theories for what's going to happen for the rest of this arc? Remember, guys, before you leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. Really, really easy to do. And subscribe to the channel if you have not already so you can see all of our anime and manga reviews. You can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links to those in the description box below. So, guys, I will see you next time. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.